What's up everyone? We are only 3 episodes into Survivor 49 and the Kele tribe is down to 2 members. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your Survivor Breakdown. Right before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm here every single week breaking down Survivor 49 and all the shenanigans that go with it. I'm also covering the challenge, vets and new threats, and the amazing race European adventure. So there's lots of good TV this fall, and I'm going to be covering all of it. So make sure you've hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single second of content. And one more thing, folks, I'm really going to ask you all to hit the like button. Those thumbs up, they really do go a long way, and I genuinely mean that. As a smaller content creator, they really help me out with the YouTube algorithm, so I'm going to remind you there, folks. There's 2 things. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Let's get to the breakdown. Wow, what an episode of Survivor that was. I am flashing my mind back to Bobby John and Stephanie. Those are the 2 that come to mind. If you've been an old school Survivor fan or you've seen all the seasons, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about there. It's giving Bobby John and Stephanie. It's giving Malcolm and Denise. I only bring up Bobby John and Stephanie because, you know, that's the one. You know, when you think of a 2-man tribe, you think of those. Sophie and Alex have evolved. If it was a Pokemon, you know, it goes Bobby John and Stephanie, Malcolm and Denise, Alex and Sophie. Wow, what an episode. We've got to rewind all the way back to the beginning because a 2-man tribe wasn't even the biggest talking point of the episode. I'm talking about a slippery little snake that got its way with Jake, which was absolutely awful to watch, but also fascinating as we got the 4th wall break and got to see into base camp. We'll talk about that very soon. But first of all, let's go back to a tribe that didn't get as much attention this episode. Let's talk about the Hyena tribe. Now, on the Hyena tribe, first of all, we proposed. Jason said, let's do a community idol hunt. Oh boy. It's so funny. I sent out a tweet in the middle of the episode that said, like, imagine if you're in a challenge and the challenge is keep your immunity idol a secret, but your opponent is a New Era Survivor member. Yes! You would win easily, right? Because none of these New Era players know how to keep a secret. Everything's, you know, kumbaya, and we have to do everything together, and let's go out together and find it as a team. Because yes, 5 people can win Survivor at the end. No, 6 people can win Survivor. Let's do that. Anyways, yeah. So this community idol hunt was proposed by Jason, and I was kind of glad Jason didn't find it because, you know, I thought these people should go out and find it themselves because one person gets to have an idol, right? And here's the thing, right? If all of these people who were searching for an idol, you know, they're all in it together, not a single person has been voted out of this tribe yet. So when the Hyena tribe does have to vote somebody out, or if they had to vote somebody out in that matter, it doesn't make sense because then everybody knows there's an idol at play. You know, you've at least got to keep it secret from one person. So to me, it was just, that's going to make the Hyena tribe easier to crack going into the swap because they've been so, like, they haven't had to forge their bonds by fire, literally, in tribal council yet. Same for the Uli tribe, but I feel like the Uli tribe has that core 4 that's going to help them get further. But Hyena, they're thriving right now, but this swap's coming next week. There's going to be a crack right down the middle of that because nobody's going to want to take Sophie and Alex out after they've just survived because, you know, what's the point? There's 2 of them, right? There's 2 of them, whereas there's 6 of the Hyena tribe, so that's where the attention's going to be. Same with Uli. So yeah, I don't know. Jason, I didn't like that community idol hunt. MC ended up finding it, and the only person she confided in was Steven. I think that was a lot smarter than what the rest of them were thinking. Well, let's tell everybody we got the idol. No, well done, MC. MC kept it to herself. Camp Rock is what she was doing afterwards, which is insane. Camp Rock, she did find the idol law and she didn't tell the whole tribe. So well done, MC. Well done. Proud of you. And she told Steven. She confided in one person. I'm telling you, Steven, he's got good social connections, but I think going into a swap, people might be keeping an eye on that. I don't think Steven's going to make it as far as we think he might. Speaking of kumbaya, let's take a look at the Uli tribe, and Sage is sick of all the kumbaya stuff. She brings up exactly what I'm thinking when I'm watching this show. Exactly the same what Sam was thinking. It was that, you know, this kumbaya stuff, right? You can play, or we all love each other. Everything's amazing. I love you. I love you. I love you. I've known you for 3 days. Sorry, I can't even. But then she actually brings up the point that you can do kumbaya all you want, but 5 people ain't going to win Survivor. Only 1 person can. So really, it's a way of sugarcoating the truth of Survivor. That's why I feel like old schoolers kind of were a bit more gritty, because there wouldn't be a facade that you'd put up for the sake of protecting people's feelings or whatever. You'd get on with it, and I think that's what was happening there with Sage. So I like that little thing that Sage said. She was saying, we can't get to the end with Kumbaya, so we got to break that up. But the unlucky thing for Sage is she's not in that core 4. But I really like Sage. I like her a lot. She brought up the fact that 2 people in the core 4, she doesn't know there's a core 4, but she was talking about Savannah and Rizzo, who I think are the breakout stars of this season. And she was saying they're talking a lot, and she kind of blew it up out of proportion. But then Savannah, who got wind of that, blew it up even more. And I'm noticing Savannah deals in red flags. Like that's what Savannah does. Like, and I've still got her as my winner pick. I really believe she's going to win Survivor 49. But here's the caveat. I think that the way she operates is very much, and it works. It feels a little icky, but it works. When she catches wind of something, everything goes from 0 to 100 like that, Sage said this, oh my god, it's the end of the world, this is the bad, but it sinks these other people, and it's going to help Savannah get further, but it is icky to watch, but it works, so who am I to criticise that? But yeah, she did not like that when she caught wind of that, so I think if the Uli tribe was to go to tribal council, luckily they didn't, Sage could have ended up going home, but she was saved by the bell, or more so a swap. That's coming next week. Okay, time to talk about the tribe that we've all been thinking about. It's the Kele tribe. They have had an incredibly rough start to Survivor 49. 5 days in, and they are down to 2 members. Or was it 6 days in? I don't even know. I feel like it's been all over the place with that one. But point is, not even a week in, and they've got 2 people left on their tribe. They're the only tribe to have taken hits. It's brutal. Bobby, John and Stephanie, welcome back. I love references to old seasons. But wow, Sophie and Alex, well done to them for a start. We'll talk about how everything that led up to that. But the episode began with Kele feeling really kicked down, and like things aren't on the up and up, and things are just getting worse and worse. But they didn't know how much worse it could get. Jake was hanging down by the sea, and then a snake made its way towards him. And we later found out that this was a venomous snake, and it bit Jake. Where do we even start? The man stayed incredibly calm at first, and I was in shock. I was tweeting in the middle of the episode again. I said, I can't even believe the man just got bit by a snake. And he was like, hey guys, come check out this, see what happened. I was like, you just got bit by a snake, bro. Unbelievable. Well done to him for remaining calm. I found out in the middle of the episode, one of my wonderful patrons, Katie, she was, because she knows about reptiles, all that kind of jazz, and she was saying in the Discord, there's a smooth plug, join the Discord, folks. She was saying in the Discord that remaining calm after you've been bitten by a snake is actually the best thing to do, because if the venom has gotten into your bloodstream, it goes through way faster when you're panicking, because obviously the blood starts pumping around more and more and more, then it can get to the heart, all that kind of jazz. So remaining calm was probably the best thing Jake could have done. So he was evacuated over to base camp. We got this whole 4th wall break, and Jeff talking to the camera and saying this is base camp. It was fascinating. I felt like I was watching. Do you know what the village reminded me of? The base camp. Any Lost fans out there? Do you remember when we got to see where the Benjamin Linus's gang was hanging all this time on the island? When it's, I believe it was season 3 where it opened up with when you're alone and things are da 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 da, you can always go downtown, and it was that moment. That's exactly what base camp reminded me of there, where Benjamin Linus and the gang all lived on Lost. Fascinating. My mind was blown, just like it was on Lost, and I don't know. I love these 4th wall moment breaks. It's just a shame that it had to happen with such an awful incident. So anyways, Jake was checked up on, and luckily it was a dry bite, so no venom was actually injected into Jake there. So that was a close call. Apparently the bite was, like they said, a dry bite. It was just a warning bite almost for the snake to say, get away from me, don't do anything more. The snake's definitely secured its place on Heroes vs Villains 2, that is for sure. But again, I'm so happy that the snake wasn't venomous. Jake obviously missing the birth of his son while he comes out to play Survivor, so he was panicking. And the thing he kept saying, which I would be doing the exact same if I had a baby on the way, he just kept saying to the medical team, I've got a baby on the way. I've got a baby on the way. I've got a baby on the way. That's the only thing that would be on my mind as well. So I felt for him so much. And listen, I know I mentioned it last week. Jake actually was in the comment section for the first episode recap that we did this season. And that really meant a lot to me that Jake went out of his way to say hi to a small content creator. Like, that means a hell of a lot to me. So much so. Honestly, I just want to take a moment, just by the off chance that Jake is watching this right now. Jake, buddy, I am so freaking happy that you are okay and that the bite wasn't, lethal or too dangerous or anything like that. I'm very, very sorry that you were pulled from the game, but I am beyond thrilled that you managed to get home for the birth of your baby, and that fills me with warmth in my heart. So Jake, very happy that you're safe and back with your family. But I hope the journey isn't over yet. I hope that Mr. Probst is going to give you the call for a season 50 something where you can get back out there and show everybody the tank that you are. I'll be pulling for you. But Jake, commiserations, but I'm really proud of you, bud. Now, back to the challenge of the episode, and it was broken to the cast that Jake would not be returning due to the fact that if he was put back into the game, it's just way too much of a risk. Things could take a turn for the worse. So everybody was very upset about that. There was kind of a communal share circle where everyone was talking about their feelings and all that kind of jazz, and how Kele was now going to have to function through the immunity challenge with only 3 members. Little did they know how much worse it was going to get. Let's just rip the band-aid off. They lost. They lost that challenge. Uli and Hina gaining immunity again. You should have seen the look on Sophie's face. Well, you all did because you're watching this recap. But Sophie was absolutely crushed. I felt so sorry for her. Man, Sophie has been dealt a rough hand. A really rough hand. But I saw, she posted on Instagram earlier today, it's not about the hand. It doesn't matter if you get dealt a crap hand. It's about how you play it. And that speaks to me from the heart, because growing up, you all know me. I'm an old soul. If you've been following me for a while, you know I love old music. I love old things in general. And one of my favourite songs, I would say in probably the back end of my teen years, kind of becoming a young adult, was The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. That song got me through a lot of hard times, if I'm being totally honest right now. A lot of tough times that I didn't necessarily think I could make it through. And, it's one of those, what a lot of people would view as a silly campfire song. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. But those words ring so true. They're almost a motto for life. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough counting when the dealing's done. You could be dealt the best hand in the world, but you could fumble it so hard. But you could also be dealt a really crap hand, like Sophie was, and turn it around and become a 2-man tribe. It's really about what you do with the hand that you're given. If you're given, a 2 and a 7 in poker, it might not look like a lot, and it's 2 different suits as well. Oh, even worse. You're looking at it and you're going, what can I do with this? But it's really about how you play. If you can bluff your way through it and you can make people think that you've got 2 aces, oof, you're off to the races, right? And that's what it's really all about. So yeah, I commend Sophie so much for putting that Instagram post out there and saying it's really about how you deal with the hand that you got. Because so many people in Survivor, Big Brother, whatever, go, oh, I got dealt a really bad hand, there was nothing I could do. There's always something you can do. You might get the crappiest hand in the world, but you've got to play it like your life depends on it. And Sophie did do that. So well done to her, because she was absolutely crushed and down and out, but she pushed through. We'll talk about Tribal very, very soon. But yes, there was a lot of kind of discourse on the Kele tribe for the rest of the episode. Jeremiah was stuck between a rock and a hard place because he was sat there going, and bear in mind, he still wants to be the first male Taurus winner of Survivor. I don't know if I've mentioned that. He was saying, do I vote my closest ally out, which is Sophie, or do I try and vote Alex out, who has got an immunity idol? Like, what the do I do? Like it's such a tough position to be in, and I think it was pretty obvious, I think, to a lot of audience members that he was the one that the knife was going to go into, because, oh man, when you've got Sophie, who's kind of got the tribe wrapped around her finger, and Alex with the idol, Jeremiah is kind of the only safe bet, and you need to do that when the numbers dwindle down. So yeah, he was in a tough spot. Sophie also had a Spy Shack moment, which was very reminiscent of the great Tony. Of course, Tony of Cagayan, Tony of Game Changers and Winners at War. Like, he's a legend. It's Tony, come on. Yeah, and I also saw Sophie tweet about how Tony is her favourite player, and I was like, of course Tony's your favourite player, because doing that, hiding in the bushes and trying to see what's going on, let's go. I don't know, I love any ode to Tony. It's fantastic. Sophie's the gift that keeps on giving for me. She is probably my favourite this season. I think she's just, there's a couple of people I really like, but Sophie has gotten a lot of screen time because Kele has been down and out, so it's been great following Sophie and seeing what she's got in this game, and she's got a lot. She's good, she's adept at these games. Get her on more shows. But yeah, it was very whirlwind on the Kele tribe. But over on the Uli tribe, we finally saw that Rizzo managed to get himself an idol, similar to what Jason proposed on the Hina tribe with the community idol hunt. MC obviously ended up finding it, kept it secret, only Steven knows. Rizzo, on the other hand, couldn't keep it secret. Everybody knows about the idol. But the Riz God is in full... Yeah, those words just came out of my mouth. The Riz God is in full form, and he's doing very, very well. He's setting himself up for a swap now that he's got that in his pocket. I have no doubt in my mind this man will be at the merge, and then probably towards the back end of the season, very deep in it. Riz God is doing incredibly well. Keep Risen, keep Godding. RIZGOD, the Riz God. The man, the myth, the legend, the Riz God. Well done, Riz God. But now it's time to talk about Tribal. After back and forth and lots of laughs between the tribe, I was unbelievable how much they were smiling and laughing. I'd just be worried. Back in the day on Survivor, if that was a three, they'd all just be like, oh God, what can we do? What can we do? But they were all smiling, and I'm like, one of you is going home, right? You can keep up this kumbaya stuff all you want, but one of you will be going. And it was Jeremiah who ended up leaving Survivor this week. Alex did use his idol. It was a wasted idol though, but he again was having that moment where it was, I'm going to regret this if I don't use the idol and then get voted out. It was one of those moments where it's like you've either just solidified your position in the game for a little while longer, or you've just solidified your position into Ponderosa and eaten a cheeseburger in 10 minutes time, and Alex opted not to go for that. But yeah, he cancelled out one vote, but he didn't need to. Jeremiah got 2 votes from Alex himself, and Sophie turned on Jeremiah. Ooh, man, that's Jeremiah's downfall there. He should have really approached Alex about turning on Sophie, because I think Alex would have gone for it, taking the kingpin out. He wanted to do it last week. But Jeremiah got played. He got played. And he will not be the first male Taurus winner of Survivor. That is all of your Survivor breakdown for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. This season's really fun. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's cool. Survivor 49, man. This Kele tribe's giving me life. I want a Kele buff. I really want a Kele buff. That would be so cool, because Kele is the tribe I'm pulling for this season. They're just the gift that keeps on giving, even though they keep losing. I don't know. I root for underdogs. Y'all know me. If you've been following me for long enough now on Big Brother, Survivor, anything, you know that I love the people who are in the down and out position and still find a way to scramble their way at the top. So I'm keeping an eye on Sophie and Alex as we go into the swap next week. But I feel like I need a Kele buff. Listen, hey, PO box is still open, folks, with the address on screen right now. If you want to see me deliver next week's update in a Kele buff, please send in a Kele buff to the PO box. We would love to hear from you. Me and Sam are so excited to open up all those packages. Like I said, I extended the deadline for folks who were worried about packages coming in, but I've came down with a cold. I don't know if you can tell, and I did the Amazing Race update last night, and after my throat felt awful. I pushed myself way too hard with that one, and because I've been soothing my throat all week, and then I felt like I regressed it all with that update. So that's why I'm recording Survivor a little bit later, so my throat's a bit better. But I'll have to take a little break between this one and the challenge as well, but we should be good soon, because then, because I'll be talking for hours when I open these packages, so I need to make sure my throat's good for that. But yes, address is on screen right now. Would love to hear from y'all. But in the meantime, folks, I hope that you're all staying safe, staying positive, and staying healthy out there, and remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next Survivor Breakdown, I've been your host, Tom VASEY. Good night.